Many times people will come to me and they'll say, Adam, I'd like to educate my children about investing. How do I go about helping them to learn about investments? I think that there are ways that you can do that. I'll tell you that quite honestly, I found that most kids really aren't interested, that until you get kids in the college age, it's really not worth it. So what I'm going to tell you is, instead of putting your priority on teaching your kids about investing, I recommend you start teaching your kids about budgeting. That's really the lesson that most people need to learn. You know, when you look at the housing crisis, there were a lot of people who bought houses they couldn't afford, or they could only afford it if it had some teaser rate to start with, and then ultimately, you know, they got them into trouble when the rates went up later. I think that those budgeting lessons are much more important as a beginning framework than investing. And one of the great ways to do it, one of my daughters had a party, and I said, okay, here's your budget. And she said, oh, I'm going to have this restaurant cater the party. And I said, well, there's no way you can afford that on the budget. She goes, oh, sure I can. How much can it possibly cost? Well, it ends up that it costs a lot more than she thought. She ended up having to go to Costco and buying, you know, appetizers that she had to, but she made the whole thing work. And I think that, you know, if you give kids those kind of mini budgets, for whether it be for school clothes or for a party or whatever the case may be, that's a very valuable lesson. And I think it's also important when you're with kids and they say, well, can I have, you're at the store and they have the impulse items, and can I have this? You don't just go, no, you can't have it. You say, we have a limited amount of money, and because we need to make our house payment, we need to make our car payment, we need to save for college, we can't just buy anything that we want anytime we want it. And I think that's a great lesson for kids.